Welcome back to On the Path. I am Kissiah, and thank you so much for lending me your ear once again for today's episode. I've been giving thought to what this would be about, and I've gone back and forth on many things because of some unfortunate matters in my professional life. And I thought, let me investigate those matters and bring them here to On the Path to ensure that I am, in fact, on the path and the decisions that I'm making. And the word that came up for me, as again, I've been facing some unfortunate issues around my professional life and poor communication on the part of someone who I considered a friend and someone who also is in a position of power, is inner-ruption. That's the word that came up for me. And again, inner-ruption, not interruption as in to interrupt, the external, but an inner-ruption. And how this person caused such a disruption for me professionally that I began to experience an inner-ruption. When your mind replays things again and again and you question a person's ability to be your friend and betray you. And then all of the thoughts and feelings that come when you feel betrayed and disrespected and, blindsided. But because I know that this life experience is not about the outer in or the external to the internal, it's about the inner outward. I knew I need to sit with this for myself and see clearly and operate from a place of clarity. Because who is responsible for our inner worlds, if not ourselves? And I want to be responsible for my inner world. I do not want to give anything enough power or access or energy to infiltrate my system. Because when that happens, many things can get rocked or shaked or out of alignment. And to be on the path is to be in alignment, to be rightly guided, to see things clearly, to know what's true. And yet I'd been swimming in this murk at work, not understanding what happened. When did things go awry? And when was I going to know about it? It's like I've often said, you really can't be mad at a person if they don't know why you're mad. I mean, you can, but it's not effective. Or how long will you be disappointed in something before you actually talk to me about it? And so while I was going through this inner-ruption of having zero information, but still needing to rise to the occasion of swimming through the murk of not having any information, I had to check in and go, what do you see here? What is the lesson here? What is the light being spotted on, so to speak? And I realized that I'm responsible for myself, my response, how I move through the world. I can't control or be responsible for another adult and the choices and decisions they're making, even when they adversely affect me. But I can see it all as information and then make some choices. And the hard choice, well, once upon a time it would have been harder. But the unfortunate decision that I made today, that I arrived at making, that I sat with over months, is that I can no longer be this person's friend. And I say that because for me, friendship is an honor. Friendship is a gift. Friendship requires holding and transparency and trust and truth and, those things. Betrayal is not an ingredient in friendship. And I realized because of this professional matter that when I pan out, I can see the ways in which I was not being seen clearly, not being heard clearly, not being understood properly. And so what does that leave me with, if not a sense of not belonging inside that friendship? particularly because it's now unhealthily impacting work. Because again, no communication, positions of power. And I know I'm not being specific. And I'm not being specific out of respect, because it's not about the details of what happened, but it's about my response to the happenings and my decisions to make decisions. When a person shows you who they are, you should believe it. When I think about the many opportunities that were had to learn how to communicate with me better that have gone missing, I realize that, you know what, not everyone is going to practice. And so, although I may have to continue to work with you, alongside you, and do that well to the best of my ability, I no longer give you access to enter into the personal aspects of my life, because you don't see me clearly. And when you don't see a person clearly, you don't treat them well. You don't treat them from a place of who they are. You relate to them from the place of your own distorted view. And that distorted view and the ripple effects led to that inner-ruption. And I've been sitting at my altar contemplating the fullness of what's happening to the best of my ability without having any specific information. And realizing, although this may be a professional matter, well, let me back up and say that differently. This may appear to be a professional matter, but it isn't. That was just the opening up to something that was bigger, which is to look closely at the friendship, to look closely at the company you keep, to look closely at the person or the people involved, and make sure that you see things clearly so that you can move with wisdom and truth and spaciousness. And today I chose to prioritize myself and my truth, and to keep sacred my friendships, with those who are truly friends to me, who see me clearly, who relate to me from that place of clarity, who would come to me to discuss me and not go outside of me to discuss me. I want to take a moment to invite you all to investigate where you may be experiencing an inner-ruption, where your inner is feeling different unto you because of something external. And when you investigate that inner-ruption, to keep your eye not on who's right or who's wrong or who did this, that, or the other, but what is true, what do I know, what does this reveal? And then how do I move forward from the place of knowing? And what decisions might I need to make, regardless of how hard they are, how uncomfortable they are? But what are they? And then sit with that. And then eventually allow yourself the honor and privilege of making decisions from a place of clarity and truth, for choosing the highest thing for yourself. And so on this day, I can release the inner-ruption because I have enough truth and enough clarity to see truth and clarity. And so I've made decisions to let someone go in order to hold close myself, to prioritize what means the most to me. And so today, ask yourself, am I experiencing an inner-ruption? And what's happening there? Yeah, let's do that. Let's investigate those inner-ruptions and allow what becomes of the inquiry to rightly guide us, to keep us in alignment, to keep us on the path. Thank you for listening. I appreciate sharing with you. And of course, as always, I welcome your sharing. I think I'm just going to take this opportunity and rest of this day to walk and breathe in the fresh air of clarity and grace and of truth and of love and of light. And I extend all of those things to you. I do. Thank you again. And I hope you come back, spend more time with me, listen and share, commune with me. Yeah. I'll talk to you soon.